Okay, welcome everybody to the Ramsgate Town Council meeting of the Planning and Infrastructure Committee, Wednesday the 6th of August 2025. Please make sure you have all your mobile phones switched to silent, and yes, we shall proceed with the apologies.
We have apologies from Councillor Nixie, who has a family commitment, and Councillor Austin, who has a family commitment.
And are there any declarations of interest?
No.
Can we approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 2nd of July as a true record?
I propose.
Yes, I think it's seconded. All in favour? Then item 4, KCC Highways. This is the crossing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. So the first matter is on Margate Road, on the southwest side from its junction with Whitehall Road for a distance of 27 metres in a southerly direction, and on the east side from its junction with Newlands Road for a distance of 11 metres. It's proposed to remove the double yellow lines. The reason for this is for avoiding danger to persons or other traffic using the road or any other road, or preventing the likelihood of any such danger arising, facilitating the passage on the road of any other road of any class of traffic, for preserving or improving the amenities of the area through which the road runs.
Removal of double yellow lines.
Are they putting zigzags in?
Chair, I'm a bit worried about this because if they remove the double yellow lines, then people will park there, which means the people coming out of Whitehall Road onto the Margate Road.
The sites.
The sight lines are not going to be good. I think we should object to this.
Well, I'm just, on this map, they have a symbol which could be the zigzags to replace the W. I know they don't be small notice of zigzags either, but
Has anybody got some magnifying glass?
You don't know to ask for one.
on this map,
Yeah.
which has, I don't know how to identify it, but if you look on the right hand side where there are yellow lines, there appear now to be a squiggle, which I think might mean.
Oh, are they putting on a different curve? So in other words, you've got the curve that comes up and comes in, and there it's to park there would be probably cash your door and it wouldn't be able to park there. But I just, that's my concern anyway. You're removing the double yellow lines, people will park.
No, but my reading of it is they're removing the double yellow lines
Right.
and then putting the crossing zigzags.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking they were going to put a zebra crossing in, weren't they? So that's what they're going to be doing. Okay.
Yeah, which I know people ignore those. Anyway.
Come in, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. And if they're doing that, 'cause they can't park there anyway.
No, to stop people
That's
parking next to or
Yeah.
even on the crossing as they do in Pearson, not Pearson, yes, Pearson. Is that everything we've got to look at? There's a lot of documentation. Oh, Boundary Road.
So the second item on the agenda is Boundary Road.
Yeah.
So was there any comments on Margate Road?
I don't think so. No, if we've understood it correctly.
Are you talking about the new zebra crossings?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not a lover of build outs, but it's there. I've travelled along there several times. The zebra crossing, we've been talking about that in 2023. It does allow you to get out of the whole road now a bit better.
So you've got no comments?
I don't think it's comment on the first one, Chair. You've explained that rather well, so
Okay.
I support that then.
Okay, so we're happy with the first one.
Yeah.
And then Boundary Road.
So on the north side, change the lines across the junction of the unnamed road to go into the junction. St Luke's Avenue on the south-western side from a point 18 metres south-east of the junction with Denmark Road for a distance of 40 metres in a south-easterly direction. Will introduce waiting restrictions.
Good.
So this is adding double yellow lines.
Yeah.
There is a massive issue with parking on St Luke's,
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
huge issue.
Yeah.
And yet, in the summer holidays, because we try to sweep the roads on our side, there seems less cars, so it must be workers coming in that park there.
Yeah, well, my daughter's son-in-law lived there, so
Or the school.
obviously not on the end.
Near the church is particularly bad.
Yeah, and it always has been, isn't it? Well, I think this is a good idea, Chair.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So if it's waiting restrictions, you can park there, but you're not going to be allowed to park there all the time.
No, it's like an hour, probably.
Bit like the one on Addington Street that's never enforced.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get on to enforcement in a minute.
Thank God. Thank God.
Okay, so we're all right with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine with that, Chair.
Then the planning applications.
So first of all, let me the information from
Does anybody want more water?
I think.
Okay. Just while we're doing this, we looked at this before, when it was just a change of use, a temporary change of use
Right,
to a dance academy.
yeah,
And we thought it was okay. We support the recreational. But since then, there've been objections from the neighbours. And also, there appears to be an extra 2 stories or 1 story, 2 stories on top.
is the neighbour,
sorry, Chair.
Of course, yes.
yeah,
So this is Elite Dance Academy, 177 High Street. As the Chair has just mentioned, you have considered this site recently, but that was relating to a change of use, and you did support this recreational use of the building for the community. This is now been called, this is a new application. It's been called in by councillors Arrow and Crittenden, and concerns about impact on parking and noise. It's for the erection of a 2-storey front and side extension together with glazed first floor extension to lobby to facilitate the retention of the existing community use to the ground floor and the creation of 4 flats to the upper floors. And a neighbour has commented, the problem is that every day and evening there are children and adults coming and going very loudly by the side of the building which faces onto my property, causing noise and compromising my privacy. Also, cars of parents are persistently parked outside on double yellow lines, often with the engines running for a considerable amount of time. A couple of notes. The Dance Academy is proposed to stay. 4 resident parking spaces are included in the plans, and it's for 4 2-bedroom flats.
have we got a street view of the building as is?
Exit down
Well, there it is on the right.
there, the top two.
Oh, the Kingdom Hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice.
And they want to make that
Yes, councillor Shock.
They'll be invited to the opening. I think the mayor Pat Moore's there as well. As a dance academy, or whatever they call themselves, it's great for people that we complain about young people know where they're going. And that's good. But once you start, and I think they was hoping to purchase a building, but developer called it. It was released. That's why they got that. I'll do the dance group. I can't believe children make noise. We live next to school. But to put that on top of that, that's the biggest problem, really.
I agree about the dance academy. If you're living in the town, you put up with things like that, with kids, going to a thing. But we'll have a look at the plans of the extension. Yes, councillor Wing.
I thought the resident had proposed that if they stopped using the side entrance and used the front entrance, that would solve all the problems. Because I think that unless the front entrance is then compromised by the new building. So you can see that the whole access of the building would have been in the front, and now they've created an access round the side, which is a noise nuisance for the neighbour, which could be avoided or mitigated against.
The parking on the double yellow lines is not a planning matter, even though they're annoyed, obviously.
Chair?
Yes, councillor.
Looking at the design and the bulk of the building, it fits in with adjacent to the right hand, but as we're looking at it, to the right hand side, it's not as high as that. It's higher to the one to the left, but not that much higher, according to the drawings anyway. And the design is fine, I haven't got a problem with that. But I do, the only thing that worries me a bit is where there enough parking, because we know what it's like there.
There is a big forecourt there.
Yeah, but on the whole, I can't see a particular problem with it.
Can you increase the size of the plans, please? So it's going to be four flats. They really push their lucks with these, don't they?
They just look exactly the same. Living room front, bedrooms back, room kitchen.
Two persons.
Yeah, one double, one single, 2 bathrooms by the look of it. Seemed to be entered from the front. Was that just a balcony? Yeah.
I think the entrance is down front, which is, I think, created the problem, because obviously the dance academy's got to go around the side now.
Yeah.
Can I say, when it's your home weakness at level, as a dancer, it fits in there. I just think all that on top, that's going to create a problem.
What problem?
Chair, I think that in relation to noise from the dance studio is there now, it's not going anywhere, it's staying there. So if the neighbours have got a problem with noise coming from the dance studio, and it's outside noise, not coming from inside, it's people walking in with the children, etc., etc. But if they've got a problem with noise, then they can report that to the Environmental Health, who would investigate. But I think that looks.
It was fine. And the entrance on the right-hand side to the dance academy.
Is it the right or the
left? To that big building, which is flats anyway. Not that they don't deserve quality of life.
Is the entrance to where is the entrance to the dance studio?
Well, I suspect it's
on the right-hand side or the left-hand side?
Yeah, but those two people, the other steps.
Yeah.
I've got a problem with it, Chair.
I don't. I'm happy too.
If you look at the street scene, on the left-hand side, there's a house as big as this further along the street, and then you've got the Sally Army further down, which is a big building.
Yeah. So that I can't see.
And it's not overdevelopment, there's 4 flats.
Yeah.
If it's in with the street scene.
And we need the flats.
It's not a
Councillor
conservation
Strong.
area.
isn't it?
It's very hard. I mean, we've got so many community centres in Marylebone, down in Almdale before. So that would be still a community centre. But when you've got people living across the top, they're the first one to complain about the noise downstairs. Unless you go into that building, it's a lovely purpose building. And they've done a lot of work on that inside.
Well, there will no doubt be insulation, sound insulation in the floor, and I can also put it in the roof of the dance studio.
Yes,
So
yes, between flats. They have to do that for the building regs.
Can I just say, have we had any complaints about this?
One lot of complaints, and it's about the dance studio being accessed
I'll
by
propose
noisy
that, yeah.
people.
Proposal.
I will do, anyone else second, no comment?
I'll abstain, because I do think there's been a change of use. A change of use which has created a different group of people going in there. But I agree it's an environmental health matter, but you would have thought the developer would have found some way if this had come up because it's still in its early stages of trying to mitigate against that. You want to get on with your neighbours, don't you?
Yeah, but it's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah, but
We don't look at the planning issue, we don't know whether people are going to make complaints or not, do we?
you live in the middle of a town, you're going to have things like that.
There's still an impact on neighbours that wasn't there before, and that is a planning consideration.
Oh, because it wasn't used for a long time.
So I'll abstain, but it's still carried.
Perfect.
You're abstaining
When
too.
that community, and we always talk about in KCC, here, everywhere, is lack of community spaces. We haven't got any. That is one. Stick that on top, it's not one. What was the place to call that one down in?
What's wrong with it then?
We don't lose community space.
Nothing wrong with it. So I've already proposed
And I will second it.
and seconded
So we've got
abstention,
against, so chairman's vote, we will go with the no comment, please. But obviously it'll be recorded. And then
This one, again, coming back, and we've had more information from the Queensbridge about this and how it impacts on them.
So this has been called in by Councillor Austin on the grounds of overcrowding, impact on neighbours and potential access problems for the emergency services. RTC had previously commented on the same application that the council is not opposed in principle to the plan, but is concerned about the lack of waste disposal provisions, and TDC should also consider the height of the proposal and whether it's in keeping with the scene district, and whether suitable access by emergency services to the flats in Queensbridge Drive is retained. There's a note that Southern Water have commented that there is insufficient drainage information. Conservation Officer comments have serious concerns about the lack of any heritage statement and omission of any justification for the proposed development and its design, scale and positioning on the application site, given that it would be set within character area 10 of the Ramsgate Conservation Area and directly opposite Grade 2 listed former Ramsgate Fire Station. As such, I can only object. A couple of notes on the change is that carport has been removed. First flat is changed from 1 to 2 beds. Front door is moved to the side and means stepping out into vehicle access for the other development. And a second flat entrance at the back, and the footprint has been widened by a few feet.
see. I mean, those objections from Southern Water and the Conservation Officer are to do with lack of information, which presumably can be overcome by providing that information.
Chair, I think if we haven't got that information either, right, so
Well, we're not worried about, we might have other issues though.
yeah, but even so, we can't make a comment in relation to stuff that isn't in front of us. So we can only comment on what's in front of us, and they haven't. Southern Water have said they're not happy with, they haven't got enough information. Conservation Officer said she hasn't got enough information. So I'm finding it difficult to actually say, do we, I mean, apart from, they're not big changes to the previous application, the 1 bedroom to a two bedroom, and my concern about that is it the same floor space, in which case then is one going from 1 bedroom to two bedrooms, are they big enough, and do they comply with the
Space standards.
the room sizes? So that's kind of concerned about that.
Well, I think we should look at it for any things in addition to the other. Yeah. Councillor Wing.
Could you get this picture up here? Because that number 2, please.
Isn't that?
So if so the door goes on the side, which is straight onto this access here. This is their bin store, which is really badly managed at the moment. So the whole of that section is the bin store for the 84 flats. So one of the main concerns we've got is vehicle access is now restricted going in there, and also what the residents of Queensbury are telling us. Some of this here is their parking space, but there isn't any indication of what is their parking spaces in this application, and that's already in the previous application, the Queensbury. So they've got concerns about their bins not being emptied. I've got concerns, Effingham Street is extremely tight. Do we have a large vehicle go up there?
Well, it won't be massive because they might have to go up down around George Street, so they might not be able to get around there. So
but it's
probably one of the smaller ones.
It's a significant waste site, that's the issue. So you've got a door at the back opening onto the waste site.
Sorry to interrupt, Chair, but do you know if they have to bring their bins around to the Effingham Street? The lorry goes in.
The lorry goes in there. None of these bins are on Effingham Street. I think there's about 15 or 20 of them. But if they've got a back door there, it's onto the bins. Can you imagine that? And then this is the side door, and that's vehicle access into this main bit.
Yeah.
So where's the footpath that protects the pedestrians?
The red line is obviously the site, so there is room for a footpath if they somehow made a curve or something. So, Councillor Shaw.
It sits on opposite the fire
It's
station.
butted right up to that.
And it's always looking neat and tidy.
Apparently there's a bit of land that doesn't belong to anybody,
It does now.
Well, no, because the bit of land doesn't belong to anybody, so nobody can build on it. So there is a piece of land by the side of that cottage, which locals tell me, nobody knows who it belongs to, but it doesn't belong to this development, it doesn't belong to the cottage.
So who is building it if they don't own the land?
Well, again, we've not got enough detail, have we?
No.
We've not got enough detail about how the waste is going to go round the back. I find it ridiculous that you'd have a back door. I mean, look at that, that's the door. How is that door there? That door's there.
Yeah.
Onto the bin store. It's ridiculous.
The fact that the developer doesn't own the land.
A slice of the land, we believe.
Well, even if he doesn't own all the land, you can still apply for planning permission.
They have to serve notice, Chair, on the person who owns the land if they didn't want to build on someone else's land.
Well, if you look there is a gap. Look at that is the gap, because that is the cottage there. I would assume that building is the cottage, that 2 lines there, and that is the land where our friend is going up and down.
This one?
Yeah, but how is that door going to open onto the bin store?
Well,
to take your bins out.
It's opening in. So the door opens inside and doesn't open outside.
So if you live upstairs, you take your bins out that door?
Well, I think that's their bin store at the end. You see, there looks like 3 things that look like bins at the back.
Yeah.
There.
Can I ask you, have you walked round the back and had a look?
Yeah, I've been and made complaints about the bins, because the bins are shocking.
Well, Chair, if I may, I think we haven't really got enough information on this.
Lack of clarity.
There is a lack of clarity, and I think, personally, I'd like to tell the TDC we haven't got enough information to make a formal comment, but we are concerned about several aspects
Yeah,
of it.
concerned about vehicular waste access, pedestrian safety down the side of the building.
Chair, did we refuse this one before?
It came before.
Changed it, they've changed it.
So, and the concerns in relation to the Southern Water comments
And the conservation.
and could they possibly, well, would they, not could they, ask them to be able to submit to us further with the information that we require to make the, which includes Southern Water and Conservation Officer.
I would still say that in principle, we have no objection to building on that piece of land.
No.
Because I believe we should be filling in all these bits.
I don't disagree, Chair, but I do think, to make an informed,
Yes, but
Decision.
we can't make an informed decision.
but in principle, we have, but we can't
We
make.
should be building on these bits of land.
Absolutely.
But we shouldn't just be slapping anything up.
No.
And there are too many issues that are unresolved or lack clarity.
What we said last time is, in principle, we support something being built on that land, but we had a problem with what it was, and now we have even more of a problem particularly with lack of information. Will that do?
I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Is that all right?
Could we pathway access?
Well, that's pedestrian safety
Yeah.
from the properties.
And Southern Water?
Yeah, we've just said that. We've just said that.
Does it
So
come in front of TDC eventually?
It goes, well, if somebody calls it in, otherwise it will just be left with TDC.
But I don't particularly like that door in the side, but if that red line is the outline of the site, they can do something to make that walkway safe.
can do. Up to him. I don't know whether it's specific planning matter that obviously safety, the people who live there is an issue. But I think we covered it.
Yes. I
On that
think
left-hand
too.
side, as you go further up, there is some higgledy buildings that
They
are set back.
Well, again, it's living in the centre of the town. So will that propose, can we read what? Thank you.
Can we read what we said?
Yeah. Read our comment.
So again, the council is not opposed in principle to the plan, but
No, to the principle, we're not opposed in principle to building on that site,
On brownfield sites like this.
on that site.
but there is even more of a problem with the lack of information that is required before a decision can be made. And if you want me to list the,
Before our comments can be made.
insufficient information regarding access safety, Southern Water's comments, Conservation Officer's comments, and more information is needed.
When it says access, can you put including waste, access for waste vehicles? Because they must go into there, because they're not going to drag 15 bins down.
They do go.
Yeah, but if there's, okay. Yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, well, I propose that. Have we got a second?
I'll second, Chair.
Seconder, all those in favour?
Same.
Okay, 3 in favour, 1 abstention. Okay, so that's the planning applications. Now, over to town clerk.
Thank you, Chair. So this is a summary of the public consultation on Ramsgate Town Centre Traffic Regulation Order. First priority in the Highways Improvement Plan was to reduce speeding on Dumpton Park Drive, and there's a couple of different projects underway. Second priority was to focus on enhancing movement in the town centre, because many stakeholders believe that the existing TRO requires improvement, and Kent County Council are prepared to reconsider the TRO, but they need to understand what the problems are in order that they can think how to fix them. The committee approved going to public consultation on the matter, and we've had a really good response from residents who've given some really useful information. The full responses was shared with you, and there's a copy here. Attached to your report is the press release originally introducing the consultation, just as a reminder of what this was about. The consultation responses in full. Information about the demographic and communication statistics. This is actually our most popular consultation that we've run.
Ever.
There's a draft press release to go out thanking the residents for their responses and summarising findings. A summary of responses. The top thing that was mentioned was parking enforcement. I'm not entirely sure whether I've correctly attributed all of this to Thanet District Council or whether there's also a police matter here. The next most referenced comment was general TRO management by Kent County Council, cycling and e-scooter enforcement by Kent Police, signage and clarity by Kent County Council, and then mentioned but less responses were around access for essential services, road and curb maintenance, delivery vehicle access, traffic management, market management, and the one-way system. Overall, the main concerns include inadequate parking enforcement, inappropriate delivery vehicle access, poor signage and road markings, uneven road surfaces and curbs, and the behaviour of cyclists and e-scooters. Many respondents highlighted the need for clearer enforcement of restrictions and improved infrastructure to ensure safety and accessibility in the pedestrianised area. So I've suggested next steps: issue the draft press release at Appendix 4.
Yeah.
Write to TDC Parking Enforcement requesting improved enforcement. Write to Kent Police requesting improved enforcement. Share the responses with Louise Askew, Head of Regeneration and Growth at TDC, for possible use in the Plan for Neighbourhoods base data.
Maybe.
Write to Lisanne Cesar, Highways Improvement Plan Coordinator at KCC. And
To go to his boss, really.
and ask for her consideration on how to proceed. And I would suggest actually sharing the spreadsheet responses with all. It's anonymised, but I think actually all the points raised, there's no reason not to let everyone see the whole thing.
And it is, as we thought.
We knew what we were going to get, didn't we? I mean, Chair, if I could make just a comment on it. The parking enforcement TDC, as you know, there was always a problem with getting staff to actually carry out this onerous job. But they are up to speed now, and there are more action being taken by the enforcement officers at TDC. The police, this is a civic thing now, it's not the actual parking enforcement. The only time the police will ever get involved, which you're well aware, is if there is a blockage of the highway, breach on the highway, or someone's parked on a corner on a double yellow line that is causing, for instance, coming out of Victoria Road up to opposite the Granville, you know, coaches can't get by, the police better come up there and sort that out. So I think that's quite important. The other thing I find is especially annoying, really, is the right comments that our residents have made in relation to e-scooters, which are illegal. And from what I see them every single day, not just here, but all over the island, going around on e-scooters, and the police do nothing.
Well, they have, sorry, if I can respond, they have done something. I've seen them confiscate.
I did see them do that once.
And I've seen them confiscate bicycles as well. Stop. I mean, they're mainly kids. They're not only kids.
No.
They're adults. I mean, I had one today. I say, if you're old enough to grow a beard, you're old enough to follow the traffic regulations. If TDC is up to numbers on traffic wardens, they need more. They need more numbers. Because we very, very rarely see them. And I have contacted them so many times to come out in the evenings where the pavement in Harbour Street is impassable by pedestrians, wheelchairs, buggies, etc. Because people are parked all over the pavement. Quite often, a lot of them are the takeaways, but they could park in Cavendish Street and drive round when there's a thing. It could be organised. Who is responsible?
Penny Button.
No, who is responsible for enforcing no parking in the town centre?
Parking enforcement.
It is still TDC.
I think what you've just said about Harbour Street is that it's an open road after 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing stopping cars coming through there or parking there.
No, there is.
It's
There's
when
no
they park on the
parking
pavement.
at any time. The sign.
I'll swallow it then.
Yeah. This,
But let me just say to you, you were there, I think, when we had the event in Harbour Street for Ramsgate Day.
Yeah.
Right, and we were there, and a car was parked there.
Oh, yeah.
They were in an Airbnb, parked there.
For 48 hours.
Just down from Roshan's restaurant.
Yeah.
And we went down to see a parking enforcement officer, and he said, there's nothing that I can do. But I categorically then phoned the director immediately and said, this isn't right. Of course he can. They shouldn't be there. End of.
Because I went to the police and he says, I managed to knock on the door. He was dealing with some derelict man. And he said, is it causing an obstruction? And I said, yes, it is. You can't walk on the pavement. He said, but you can walk on the road. So we won't do anything. Yep. Councillor Shaw.
I walked down there last night. I had to walk on the road because you can't
Yes,
get the pavement
I know.
on the left-hand side. They're all part of the delivery service. That even the taxis are parked in between the bollards. If KCC was plenty of money, I put all them bollards closer together.
Yeah.
And that's what it should have never been allowed to have.
But there is that lay-by that sort of invites people to.
oh yeah. I think the town centre town centre restriction order, whatever it's called, the TRO, needs looking at, and it needs some joined up thinking. The signage is there. There should be no parking at any time, and the surface needs replacing as well. So this is a proposal that should be taken to the neighbourhood plan, because there needs to be. I mean, if we're going to make it work, then you come into Harbour Street and the surface should change a different colour, so you're in a completely different area and you can't park. And we need to make the pavements bigger to stop to remove the lay-bys, and deliveries need to be at certain times of the day. It can all be managed.
Well, that has to be done through KCC.
Yes. The signage,
Sorry.
Because it needs to be, one of the reasons our town centre is not working, and there are many reasons, it can't transform into a leisure and visitor attraction, is because it's dominated by cars in the evening.
I agree.
I mean, my image of Harbour Street is there are tables and chairs out there, like they have in Europe, and people are sat down having a nice drink, having a nice meal outside.
And in Margate, yeah.
No, that's Harbour Parade. So I think I think there are some things we can do, like the signage is there. The signage is really bad though, it's confusing.
I think that's part, is that part of it that we, the whole of the signage.
It's re-educating people.
When the gate is open, which it sometimes is, for example, over the Christmas holidays, the gate's open, I can drive up here, despite the fact there is a sign. I think it needs a sign which says, first of all, this includes Sundays, and secondly, this means that you cannot drive up here between these hours. They've got the white sign with the red line around it, that's what it means. But most drivers that I have arguments with, I say, did you not pass your driving test and see what these signs
It
mean?
can be done. When I had a delivery business, I used to be in the town before 9 and didn't turn up until after 5. It can be done. The trouble is, with the gates, even when they're closed, they will circumvent, they will come all around, turn the street, and they were back all the way down.
Yes.
Back there. I told them. And I've been 10 years I've been telling them.
One of the things.
No, we have two.
One of the things I think we need to look at, and I did get it off of Paul Varell, is is the sustainable area that we're often quoted. Paul Varell. We're often quoted in planning, because that seems to be the starting place of the new TRO, because we're putting housing in there and expecting people to walk. We're not expecting there to be cars because there's no parking. So I think one of the plans going forward would be to look at that sustainability area, and that should inform a new TRO where there is restrictive issues and safe places to park your bikes, walk.
There aren't many bike riders. I'm not saying that we shouldn't.
Oh, there are. There are bike riders, but they're there when they shouldn't be.
No, that's basically.
I won't ride my
But
bike.
that's kids, isn't it? I mean, you know.
Oh, there are plenty of
Bike up in town. Where did you lock your bike up that would?
a lamppost or a railing. I cycled across London for 20 years without fear or whatever. Yeah, I cycled a lot, and I hate cycling here. It feels so dangerous.
Chair, can I just take you back to what
Yes.
the town clerk? I think we've got that summary of the response. I think we need to act on that response, and I certainly go along with that. The only thing is we've got to be practical, and number one, you won't get more officers because there isn't any money.
But they make money.
Yeah, but it's complicated where that money goes, because some of it goes to KC. If it's on street parking, it goes to KCC.
What does it?
Yes. If it's off street parking, not in the car parks, which are ours, then that money goes to.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
That could be a nice freedom of information request, though, to ask KCC how much money have they taken from off-road parking and where has it been spent?
On-road.
On-road parking and where has it been spent? That would be quite interesting.
Because we get some of that back
In, what's it called?
because we can use some of that money as to exactly what we're doing at the moment in relation to Leopold Street car park.
Right.
So long as it's highway related, cars or whatever, and signage maybe, I'm not quite sure how that one works, but that can be done. But so I'm just thinking, but I don't want to put anything in the way. So let's go with what the town clerk has read out already.
Yes.
And we respond and ask those questions.
Yes.
I think there's two things, isn't there? There's short-term things that we could do.
Yeah.
For example, maybe signage, maybe
Yeah.
the enforcement officers having a week of big pressure down there. And then there needs to be a long-term review and plan going forward, including the neighbourhood money and KCC. Well, the KCC won't be here for much longer, so.
Yeah.
We can't just ignore this, but there may be things we can do, but then planning for the future, if that makes sense. So you twin.
Chair, I think we should go with that, and then we wait to see what the responses are, what we get, and then we can go forward with it from there, because then we know what what the district council is saying, and then what the county is saying.
I think because I've sat in a meeting here with KCC people saying, oh, well, they should know what that sign means. The sign is perfectly all right. So we need some input into saying what signs need to be more explicit.
Well, could another action for us, because we're leading on the hip, because the last time I spoke to Lazarne about crossing on Nelson Crescent, just to investigate whether it's possible before we actually, because there is no money, but that's across Jacob's Ladder. Can we arrange to meet Paul Vallack and Lazarne again, like we did before? And then they'll be clearly able to tell us what is and isn't possible from a KCC point of view. And then we've got a bit of reality about what we can and can't do.
Because we pay for all this, don't we? We're not expecting KCC. It'd be lovely if they did. But
They will have a pot of money. We have a pot of money, don't we? That's our Dumpton tax.
we have money, Dumpton Park.
We could choose to, our next lot of money, we could choose to put it in the town centre rather than anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's up on a hip. That's what Lazarne was telling me. Get it on your hip and then it becomes your next priority.
Yeah. Though they're dragging their heels a bit on Dumpton Park Drive, but
Right. Chair, I don't mean to, we can, I've agreed, as otherwise we're
Yeah.
talking about this all night.
Yeah. We can talk about it with KCC and Lazarne and then
Yeah.
come back.
yes.
Is that okay, Chair?
Yeah. Because we do need, as Councillor Wing says, we do need the walk around to say, you know, the entrance from Turner Street has a sign, it's been hit by lorries, so it's facing the wrong way. So there's nothing to tell them that they can. Well, and Corinna told me that they won't shut off Turner Street, even as a temporary thing, because the lorries have got to be able to turn around there. I'm not quite sure what that is.
No, I think that's, the other thing is, you know, the tightness of the roads in the high street comes down to tightness of it. And of course, the businesses want their deliveries. So, you know, but they've got to be done early morning.
Yeah.
Or it's got bigger and bigger.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, so I think that's an issue in itself. But,
And we've got more stuff being delivered.
yeah, I'm happy
It's
to
being delivered.
propose that.
Used shops that we have left. But in Switzerland, for
We're not in
example,
Switzerland, Chair.
where God hoovers Switzerland every day, but they bring a big lorry who has lots of little lorries that go out to local places, which seems,
Better for the food. You can better for the food.
yeah,
Chocolate. That's right.
yeah.
Anyway, I propose that, Chair, that we
Yeah, all those in favour? Yeah,
We've been talking about it all night, but
Yep.
all the problems now, I talked to Paul about it 10 years ago. Harbour Street was the main problem then, still the problem today. Because it's not so much the road, it's in a considered park. They know they're not getting some tickets up in put on at night time.
well, I have asked for traffic wardens to come once a week, not on the same night, and ticket all the cars that are parked in Harbour Street from now till Kingdom Come.
They do it on Spencer Square. They come late and they come early.
Yeah.
Regularly. Spencer Square, Addington
But
Street.
I really didn't realise that we don't get the revenue to pay for the traffic wardens.
no, that comes out of our
What do they call that? Funny money? Traffic money?
funny money.
No, it's not funny money.
Yeah,
Right, what's
Is
next?
that all right, Tom? That we send that off? Oh,
It's a
yes.
special motion.
Right, I want to propose that we suspend standing orders and to consider an update from the town clerk. Have I got a second of that?
No second.
And those in favour? Yeah, all in favour.
Thank you. So a couple of weeks ago, TDC Estates contacted me to explain that TDC had just given notice to a mobile phone network operator to remove their mast from the roof of 5A Broad Street. And this was happening because of the deteriorating roof on 5A Broad Street that needs to be replaced. In response, the operator plans to install a temporary phone mast in Staffordshire Street car park to maintain coverage during this period. TDC explained that planning permission is not required for temporary masts, which can remain in place for up to 18 months if deemed an emergency. However, what qualifies as an emergency is not clearly defined in the legislation. A loss of mobile phone signal following the removal of the existing mast is likely to constitute the emergency justification. Temporary masts are typically powered by diesel generators, though operational hours can often be limited and the council may request a noise impact assessment. The operator is required to consult, but there is no clear list of who must be consulted. TDC has specified that RTC must be consulted with. TDC has limited legal leverage to oppose the mast outright, and councils have faced costly legal defeats attempting to prevent mast installations. However, TDC's recent experience in Westgate will help inform mitigation strategies in this case. Because at the moment, if you think this is ground level and Broad Street is this high, and on the top there's a mast that's this high. When you're going around and about, you're not really conscious of that. But when there's a standalone temporary mast in the middle of the car park, this high, that's a very notable addition.
There's one by the side of the pool, they're quite big. 15 metres, I think.
So TDC reported that it's likely to be an issue coming forward in the coming weeks, and it has done now. Councillors should be prepared for consultation and mitigation discussions, but don't consider that a blanket rejection is a viable option. Earlier this year, you considered a planning application and recommended refusal for the installation of 4 shared panel antennae, 6 dishes and cabinets on the top of Queensbridge Drive. This is the same applicant, so this is where it's being removed from Broad Street and they're trying to install, they were looking to install their new permanent replacement on Queensbridge. The application for Queensbridge is awaiting decision. Now today, a senior surveyor wrote to me to say that this was formally notify Ramsgate Town Council about the upcoming installation of a temporary telecommunications mast in this area. The temporary mast is necessary to maintain network coverage to the area while redevelopment work is undertaken at the existing Broad Street site. I think that reads as if they think they're going to go back to Broad Street.
Yeah.
Which would mean the Queensbury one wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah. We understand the importance of keeping the community informed and would be happy to provide any further details or answer any questions the council may have regarding temporary installation. This doesn't read as consultation. Keeping us informed is not
And if you've got any
consulting.
queries, we'll get back to you.
Yeah. I have gone back to say, where will the mast be sited specifically? How long will the mast be necessary? What hours will the generator be running? And what will be the noise of the generator? Are you reinstating the mast on the property at Broad Street, or will the replacement permanent mast be sited elsewhere, and if so, where? And I would recommend to the committee that we request a noise impact assessment.
Yeah, that's the only thing that worries me. Well, also around the site, will the site be made secure? I know the one at the harbour wasn't secure and then they put a fence in front of it because the kids were trying to climb up it.
Yeah, well, I think because you've got these large ones on the pavement, haven't you, like that, by the,
London Road.
Greyhound. Yeah, outside there, there's a wacky grey one, isn't there?
Yeah.
The kids are climbing these things.
That's the only thing that worries me. It's temporary, so I can't see much of a problem. It's sort of in the right location. It is going to be massive. How is it going to be protected, and what is the noise going to be? And
I do have a constituent in my ward who complained bitterly about the effect it was having on her children. They've all got mobile phones, by the way, and I had to go around and count them and tell her where they were, and they didn't have. Yeah.
And we have alternatives. I mean, is that still a BT building in Wall Street? Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's on the corner.
It's the old,
of
done in there and the horrible flats and all
There's
that.
BT building on the corner
Yeah.
of Broad Street and
It's unloved.
Yes,
what's that word?
but number 5 is opposite.
Yeah,
I can't picture it.
There's a,
Go up Wall Street from King Street,
Yeah.
opposite the church.
and it's on that first corner on the right-hand side as you go up. It's that big building on the corner, and it used to
You got that
be a
big
junk
tarmac.
shop.
you've got that bit of tarmac.
Yeah.
Building
Yeah.
there. In fact, I think they
A
pulled,
good place to put it.
yeah, they pulled down some cottages and put that place. Now, about St George's Church.
No, you can't bloody put it on there.
You can. I mean, all these churches are desperate.
It's listed.
We've all got mobile phones.
Trevor,
It's listed.
it's a great stylistic building.
It's not next, it's a few away from George's Church. If it went on top of the telecom,
But this is going to go.
bang in the middle.
What we could do is look at what we've got, the temporary one, which is a East Street car park. That's not a problem, I don't think.
The other-
Apart from then maybe
The noise, that's what, because, I mean, the ones by the harbour that I walk past, they're obviously, it's electric, mains electric, so there's a bit of humming, but nothing. But a generator is going, and on a quiet night, that will carry for miles. The other thing I'd say is, who is going to benefit financially? So obviously they're going to be paying somebody for it to be there. Is there any mitigation back into the community?
There normally isn't, I don't think.
Because there must be, TDC must be hiring out the piece of land.
But I think they have some statutory right to put them up. Sorry,
May I suggest, at the moment, it's on TDC property, so actually probably the income that TDC is getting for.
It will just, yeah, it will just transfer
Just
over.
that TDC won't be losing money, it's just going from one TDC site to another.
Why don't we offer Braxton House then? Oh, we're kidding. Go in the car park.
well, yes, we note the application and the fact that you have asked questions,
Yeah.
relevant questions,
Yeah.
I think is all we can say.
Yeah, that's great, thank you Laura for that.
And so now we have to reinstate standing orders.
Reinstate what?
Standing orders.
Oh, that's what we're thinking. I'll have to reinstate it, it's just finished.
No, I've got to announce the date of the next meeting, which is
Oh.
not straightforward, is it? So are all in favour of reinstating standing orders? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the date of the next meeting is supposed to be Wednesday, the 3rd of September, but it can't be because we have a TDC briefing about
Yes,
the plan for Ramsgate.
yes. And so,
I've suggested the 10th to keep it on a Wednesday.
yeah, great, I haven't got a problem with that. I
Yeah.
might be on holiday like that.
But is there any reason?
No, Dean's checked and Wednesday the 10th is clear across
Right.
the two calendars.
I don't know whether there's a TDC one, is it?
Usually,
Sometimes,
no, planning's usually the 3rd week, isn't it?
unless they put an extra one in.
Well, there will be some extra ones, I expect. but-
No, that's cool.
Okay, so at the moment it's the 10th. Yeah. And so that's.
Thank you, Chair. Whoa.
Oh,
big plan, isn't it?
Text them.